Hi there, everyone, and welcome once again to the TrainAid HQ. My name is Nick, and in today's video, we are looking at questions 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3 of Unit C, assessment methods of the Level 3 AET qualification. So we're going to look at how to complete this question. So 3.1 is to describe key features of constructive feedback. 3.2, explain how constructive feedback contributes to the assessment process. And finally, 3.3, explain ways to give constructive feedback to learners as well. So we're just going to jump into 3.1 first of all. This is all about describing ways to provide effective feedback to learners. So this is all about the methods, and one tried and tested method within teaching is the layer cake method as well. I use this method all the time. It's incredibly popular with trainers and assessors. So for the first answer, you just need to describe one feedback method. So you could describe the layer cake feedback method. Alternatively, you can describe another personal method you've used within perhaps your current teaching or assessing experience where this has been useful to learners. So I'm just going to investigate this one first. So 3.1. This is where you write your answer. Describe effective ways to provide feedback to learners. So you can, of course, describe the layer cake system, that method, or alternatively your own style of providing feedback as well. So I will describe the layer cake method. So this is a very popular technique used within education, communication, and also performance review to provide structured, balanced feedback to a learner. It comes within 3 stages. So stage 1 is a positive opening. You start with something the learner or the person did well. This sets a really supportive tone. So after an assessment is taking place, you're going to be really, really positive. You're going to state 1 or 2 things that the learner has done well. Okay, this really puts their nerves at ease. And then we're going for that second layer, constructive feedback. This is you as an assessor providing an area with very much a target, something that needs to be improved with clear examples and suggestions. So this is that middle layer. We're saying this is what could be improved, and hopefully the learner does agree with you on that. And then stage 3 is positive reinforcement or encouragement. So we're finishing off the feedback with reinforcing confidence. We're ending on a supportive or hopeful note that encourages continued effort as well. So they leave the exam room or the training room with motivation. So we're finishing off that layer cake method there. So that is a tool that I personally use as a method to provide feedback. Now once again, you can describe that method. That's optional. If you have a different method that you use to give feedback, then of course, please do describe your own personal method. You just need to describe one method, so you have a free reign on that there. 3.2, we're looking at the benefits. So 3.2 is explain how constructive feedback contributes to the assessment process. So in other words, explain a minimum of 3 advantages of constructive feedback within teaching and assessing. So just on the template there, we've got a range of different advantages of positive constructive feedback as well. So constructive feedback can help to create opportunities for clarity and discussion, emphasizes progress rather than failure, enables the learner to know what they have achieved, helps improve confidence and motivation, identify further learning opportunities or any action points required. So just within this section, you just need to explain 3. Okay, we're looking for very much 2 to 3 lines. I'm just going to write the ones I would personally write, but you can, of course, expand upon these or write your own. So positive feedback from an assessor, it creates opportunities for clarity and discussion. I really like that because after giving feedback, it promotes debates, discussions, and that's a healthy thing. It helps the learner to really break down and understand where they went wrong, if it's an area for development. It helps them understand more about the assessment itself. So I think for number one, I really like it. It promotes a two-way conversation with the learner. I think that's a really healthy thing. Um, Helps improve confidence and motivation. So I think good feedback, it really does help to reassure the learner that what they're doing is great. It should boost their confidence, it should boost their morale, and also motivation as well. It should really give them some targets to go on and continue their working role or to make changes. But always remember that feedback should be positive, constructive, and it should give the learner direction as well. Um, the next thing I would say is to identify further learning opportunities. So through feedback from a teacher or an assessor, um, that should really open doors to their future development. So it could be an aspirational course or qualification that they could progress on to. It could be some informal targets. We could give them some suggestions or smart targets. So we're giving them hopefully a bit of a beacon, something that they could go on to do, a tangible target, the next step. So we're boosting their confidence, morale, belief that they can go on and to achieve something higher, whether it's, as mentioned, it's a new position, a new career change, something like that. So we're thinking about you as an assessor. We're giving them a boost. We're giving them directions to future pathways as well. So I really like how positive feedback can open doors to new beginnings as well. So those would be my 3. Once again, the key word there is to explain. So I'd say 2 to 3 lines is sufficient for each point. So 3 benefits is crucial. Final one is all about the method. So 3.3, explain ways to give constructive feedback to learners. So in other words, explain 3 ways how you as a teacher or trainer can provide constructive feedback to learners following an assessment. So, for example, providing verbal feedback, written feedback, group discussion immediately after an assessment as possible. So, this is all about the method. So explain 3 ways how you as a teacher or trainer can provide constructive feedback to learners following an assessment. So this is all about the method. So this would be verbal feedback immediately after the assessment. That could be one. Number 2, written feedback. And final one is, of course, it can be a group discussion as well. So we've got 3 typical methods there, but I just want for you just to expand on each of them if you can. So once again, 2 to 3 lines. So verbal feedback, this is verbal feedback from the teacher to the learner. It must be done, hopefully done as soon as possible after the assessment, whilst that experience or knowledge of the assessment is still fresh within the learner's mind. So it should be done immediately after, within a private room as well. This promotes discussion, and I think it's really healthy for learners to have that discussion with you, that two-way conversation, that they ensure that they understand and retain the information as well. Another key example of feedback methods is written feedback. So written feedback should be from the assessor to the learner. It should be clear, it should be decisive, it's easy for the learner to decipher and to analyze as well. So be conscientious when writing your feedback, that it has to be clear for both the learner and also managers to be able to read. It's very important for you to get dates and signatures from the learner, because that is evidence that they agree with your points. Then it's also used for accurate assessment records as well, especially if there's an inspection. Very important there. The final one is group discussion. So this is where perhaps a group of assessors can collaborate and provide feedback to the learner. So of course, the advantage of this is that a group of assessors may have different viewpoints. They might have seen something which one assessor might not have done. So it's very good to have a fellow assessor with you to give feedback to the learner. Different points of view can be raised and shared. Once again, when doing like a bit of a group assessment scenario, very important that the assessors are using the same standards or criteria, that they're comparing and contrasting their notes as well. But I think by having a couple of assessors with you, it gives different points of view and voice as well. You can, of course, use other learners for feedback. So you could have fellow learners who give their thoughts on perhaps a learner's performance. So, for example, with our Level 3 Awards and Education Training course, we have learners who do peer assessments, they do peer observation, so they give feedback within a group setting. Really good for different points of view, and opinions are shared as well. So I think group discussions are great because different points of view are shared. You just need to ensure that learners or assessors are using the criteria accurately, that they are following the required standards as well. So just to summarize then, just three methods. So I would describe verbal, written, and also a group discussion as well. So those are three different methods of providing feedback to learners there. So once again, 2 to 3 lines for each one. You could talk about why it's important, just a few sort of tips about giving feedback verbally, written, and also a group discussion as well. So 2 to 3 lines on each one. Once again, thank you so much for watching. We have covered 3.1 to 3.1 to 3.3. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like the video, subscribe. We hope to see you on one of our courses. Bye for now.